He like to ask you introduce yourself.
Oh yes.
Yeah, from the start.
From the start.
Yeah, from the start.
Can I start?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, English.
Okay, English.
I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
know.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sige, good noon. Okay, I will do a presentation on our project called Humidify. And yes.
He like to asking about yourself.
Oh, myself.
Yeah.
Okay. So my name is.
너무 멋있게 한 거 아니야?
So it's just an avatar. So my name is Harold Glenn Minerva. I am an engineer by profession. So basically, my field is in software development, software engineering, and I started software engineering way back 1997. And
97년부터 소프트웨어 엔지니어로 시작했던.
okay. And I founded several companies, startup companies. I sold I sold two companies already. One local and one Japanese firm here in Cebu. So what else?
About the product.
Okay, that's okay. Anyway, I'll go through one by one, and you have my GitHub and you have my blog. I do a lot of blog also. You get this clear in there.
여기
And some of
들어가시면
the-
대략 내용 있을 거라고.
yes, yes.
들어가시면
Okay. So anyway, I started off founding a company called Innosoft here in the Philippines, and then by 2010, we have a project through Microsoft Spark, which they gave us all the necessary Azure account. If you're familiar with cloud computing, there are AWS, Azure. So they gave us for free, and we created a cloud system.
2010년에 마이크로소프트하고 협약을 맺어가지고 클라우드 서비스, 마이크로소프트의 클라우드 서비스를 시부 팀들이 다 개발했습니다.
2019, I sold off Innosoft with internal partner, and we formed Easy Cloud Systems, which was sold off to Human Incubator.
Yeah.
Yeah. So right now, I only have two companies, Lightclerk and Humidify, which we are doing a partnership. So, and then Humidify is focused on Web3 application. The rest are just Web2 applications.
지금 이 전에 하고 웹2하고 웹3가 뭐가 틀리냐면은 웹2의 기반은 모든 게 소프트웨어. 그러니까 소프트웨어 프로그래머로서 만들어진 거를 웹2 기반이라고 하고요. 웹3는 소프트웨어와 크립토가 합쳐진 거를 웹3 기반이라고 합니다.
Okay. So during the pandemic, we do a full research on Cosmos. If you're familiar with Cosmos, but that's why we are very much doing a lot of research on Terra before, because Terra was built on top of Cosmos, but Terra exploded.
Yeah. 여기 코스모스가 그 크립토 개발 팀이거든요. 이 코스모스를 개발한 친구가 이 친구고요. 그 코스모스를 기반으로 해서 만들어진 게 테라하고 루나예요.
Yeah, so that's why we shifted to Substrate and we shifted to Polkadot, that is the equivalent of Cosmos. So now we are on the Polkadot platform on Substrate, and we won the hackathon in the US, third place for decentralized finance.
그 이후에 저희가 옮겨간 게 폴카닥 시스템으로 저희 친구들이 이제 그 개발하면서 폴카닥 시스템으로 지금 옮겨간 거예요.
Yes, okay. Yeah, move. So anyway, you know what is Web3? Web3 is actually a new concept of database data application that spawned from blockchain technology. So the common application for blockchain is cryptocurrency, NFTs, games, whatever, no? And they call it Web3. Okay, next. So what we are doing right now for Humidify is that we are not creating smart contracts, we are not creating just NFTs and tokens. We are actually creating the entire infrastructure, blockchain infrastructure, wherein users can create your own smart contracts, can create your own tokens. But this is a sharded blockchain, meaning it will work only if it is connected to a relay chain, which is in this case Polkadot. So Polkadot is basically they are the first one to really go into sharded chain, but I think Ethereum maybe 2-3 years from now will go to sharded chain because you cannot just put everything in one database, you have to distribute it. But Polkadot was the first one to do it, and what we are doing right now in Humidify is created a parachain which connects to Polkadot. So
이게 파라체인이 뭐냐면은 각 체인별, 그러니까 각 블록체인별 서로 연결을 해주는 시스템. 그 블록체인은 BTC 만약에 비트코인 블록체인 같으면 비트코인 블록체인 안에서만 그 데이터가 공유를 합니다. 근데 파라체인 같은 경우에는 지금 폴카닷과 이더리움, 폴카닷과 지금 저희가 휴미디파이 이 연계를 같이 해서 모든 코인들의 정보를 다 공유할 수 있는 시스템을 파라체인이라고 합니다. 네. 그 시스템은 저희가 이미 개발을 했고요.
So parachain is actually so instead of adding your the concept of a sharded chain is instead of adding all your smart contracts, your tokens, your NFTs in one network, what the Polkadot system does is that they allow users to create their own blockchain. So we create our own blockchain, and then they have a protocol called Xgame, so that we can just connect to the Polkadot without any bridges. Because the problem right now, if you are going to connect to Ethereum, you have to create bridges, and bridges is outside of the chain, and this is bound for attacks. So that's why the bridges and all the gateways are bound for attacks, because it's just an ordinary API.
파라체인이 아닌 경우에는 지금 이더리움을 다른데 연계하려면 이더리움하고 다른 코인하고 전환을 해서 다시 연결을 해야 되잖아요. 그 과정에서 해킹이라든지 다른 불안정 요소가 존재하고 속도라든지 그런 게 굉장히 떨어질 수밖에 없거든요. 여러 체인을 거쳐서 다른 체인으로 넘어가야 되기 때문에 저희는 그런 과정을 다 없애버렸어요.
훨씬 빠르다.
속도는 훨씬 빨라요. 그리고 트랜스파런트라고 해서 우리나라로 말하면 투명성이죠. 투명성도 바로바로 공개가 되기 때문에 예. 투명성도
Okay. So just a basic example. So you have a relay chain, and you have a right now is that you need to connect. In order for you to connect to a different chain, you need to create a bridge. If it is an Ethereum, but for Polkadot, you go directly to the chain. So when we create the blocks get validated in Polkadot. So we create the transactions, but the transactions will not be finalized if we don't send it to Polkadot. And Polkadot finalizes it, then it goes back to us. So we are actually connected to the entire blockchain. That's the concept of the parachain. Okay. So these are the technology that we are using for this project. So basically, we are using the substrate template, which is a platform created by Parity. The Parity is the company that owns Polkadot. So
바리티라는 컴퍼니가 폴카닥을 소유하고 있는데 바리티의 모든 개발자들이 저희 소속이에요.
And then Parity open source their source code for Polkadot, and that's substrate. So what we did is we just extract this open source, modify it to our needs. Okay, and then that if the open source gets modified, you have now the ability to connect to Polkadot. So the language that we're using is Rust if you're a developer, and of course the database is RuckDB, and some of the Web2 databases still here at MySQL, but the rest is just HTML5. Thanks. So this is very technical. Okay, can I just continue a little bit technical? So what happened is that the core modules of Substrate can be fully configured. So in other words, not just the smart contracts, not just the tokens or the NFTs, we can even configure down to the fees. So if you transact and there's a gas fees, we can configure that to suit our needs. So we can lower our costs.
예, 블록체인은 저희가 보유하고 있기 때문에 가스피라든지 아니면 트랜잭션피라든지 저희가 모든 걸 조정하고 모든 걸 붙일 수가 있다.
Yes. Okay. Nice. So what is Humidify? So Humidify is a parachain that supports smart contracts. So what we are offering is that we are creating this platform so that everybody can put in smart contracts. There are few actually right now in Polkadot there are still few platforms who support smart contract because it's quite new. If you're familiar with smart contracts in Ethereum, they are written in Solidity, but for Polkadot, the smart contracts are written in Rust. So they are totally different.
이게 무슨 말이냐면은 우리가 이더리움으로 토큰을 개발하면 ERC20라고 그렇게 개발이 됩니다. 있어요. 그런데 ERC20와 독립된 ERC20 다른 사람이 토큰을 만들었을 때 이건 상호 교환이 안 되고 서로 호환도 안 돼요. 그 개발 코드가 틀리기 때문에. 그런데 저희가 개발한 거는 이게 저희가 사실적으로 지금 폴카닥이라고 계속 이름을 붙이는 명령의 이유가 이 친구가 폴카닥 개발자고 휴미디파이를 이름으로 붙였는데 저거는 이름이 제네시스로 바뀔 거예요.
Okay. So the parachain has its own native token. So they have its own native token. We name it Yumi, but we can also add more tokens as we can as in the future. And we are eyeing for a decentralized finance platform, meaning we are looking for a stable coin also inside this platform so that it will be easier to do exchanges or swaps. So later on, if we are looking for making our own algorithmic stable coin, so you can just swap your native token Yumi to that and then convert it to a fiat currency.
저희가 지금 플랫폼 오픈하면서 스테이블 코인을 같이 발표를 할 건데 그게 알고리즘이 굉장히 중요합니다. 왜냐하면 스테이블 코인이 똑같은 거예요. 루나 사태가 떨어진 게 이 스테이블 코인을 많이 보유하고 있는 사람이 갑자기 팔아버리면 이게 반동을 치게 됩니다. 그 알고리즘을 저희가 지금 만들고 있거든요. 그 알고리즘이 완성되는 기간에 그거를 저희가 원래는 오픈하면 안 되는데 제네시스와 네메시스라는 코인이 두 개가 있어요. 그 알고리즘을 만들어서 항상 연동돼서 이게 1달러로 공성되게끔 저희가 지금 만들고 있어요. 그런데 이거는 가능한 게 루나나 그쪽 테라 같은 경우에는 유저층들이 굉장히 많기 때문에 한 번에 회사가 받아들일 수 있는 물량이 제한적이에요. 그런데 저희는 코드로서도 가능하고 저희 자체 내에서도 그게 가능하게끔 그 유저 게임 유저는 그렇게 많지도 않거든요. 그게 가능하게끔 저희가 알고리즘을 만들고 있습니다.
Okay. Okay. So again, just ask question. Okay. So as of the moment, we are looking for a Canary network, but during the discussion lately for the couple of weeks with Parity, we are going directly humidify to Kusama. So right now, before we are going to create two blockchain, one for Kusama and one for Polkadot. But during the discussion, they said that it's better to go directly to Kusama. Then later on, once we have the stable coin, we move on to Polkadot. Yes, that's the. So this one is actually not anymore going to be implemented in the near future. So the key features is that number one, you can deploy your smart contracts. So if you have applications like games or whatever, you can put that in there as your smart contracts, and then you can create your own cryptocurrency because you can create the smart contracts. You can have your ERC standard tokens, and then you have your NFTs because it supports the smart contracts also supports NFTs, and we are looking for a built-in DEX module, meaning you can easily swaps, and then it has its own stable coin. How many stable coins are we going to create? It's up to the partner. We are looking for a stable coin Philippine peso since we are in the Philippines, but there are some regulatory requirements that our central bank is asking. So then also it has, you can set up your own accumulator since we are the one who owns the platform, and you would like to be accumulator, we're the one that create the blocks. So that every time a accumulator can have a reward also, you can also set up that on us. Just inform us if you want to have your own server. And we have a Polkadot parachain, which we could, once we have an XCM support and we are connected to Polkadot, in other words, our parachain or our blockchain will have a DAT token also. So if you're familiar with Polkadot, that's a DAT token. You can own a DAT token. You can easily transfer into our parachain. So we have a hybrid consensus. We have proof of authority initially, then we go to proof of stake, and we are looking for a lower transaction fees.
POA하고 POS는 아시다시피 채굴 기능이 있는 겁니다. 스테이킹으로 채굴하느냐, 기계로 채굴하느냐 두 가지 옵션은 저희가 정할 수가 있어요. 그리고 지금 스테이블 코인을 지금 저희 회사가 필리핀에 있기 때문에 필리핀 페소에 대한 스테이블 코인을 만들어야 돼요. 그게 합법적이게 들어가기 때문에 그거를 USD로 바꾸는 거는 저희 몰타에서 회사에서 스테이블 코인을 또 만들 거고요. 그래서 스테이블 코인은 두 가지가 나올 겁니다. 필리핀 페소하고 USD.
아까 코인 수합에 대해서 잠깐 얘기하신 거.
네네네.
그 내용을 폴카다다고 말씀.
어떤 코인?
아까 그 사마.
Kusama, you
Yes.
what explain about Kusama?
Kusama, what they are doing is that they are Parity created two network. Their main network is Polkadot. Okay. But they also created a canary network called Kusama. Okay. So what they are doing is that if you are a new parachain or a new blockchain that would like to introduce to Polkadot, you will first connect to Kusama. Oh, and Kusama fees are very cheap. It's cheaper than Polkadot.
아,
Sorry.
저 볼카닥에 저희가 메인넷을 진행하기 위해서 볼카닥으로 바로 들어가는 게 아니고 그 볼카닥의 파라체인으로 연결되어 있는 코사마라는 그 블록체인이 있어요. 거기에 저희가 우선은 등록을 할 거예요. 그리고 어느 정도 등록돼서 여기서 메인넷을 형성하고 저희가 볼카닥하고도 연결한다는 그런 내용입니다.
Because there are two main nets. as of the
저희가 볼카닥하고 저희가 거의 파트너 관계로 간다고 보시면 돼요.
But when you look at the two network, it comes from one source code only. So the same source code, but two mainnets. The same, yes. What they're doing is that if you are new and you want to test it in Kusama first, because you will check for security, etc. before you plug into Polkadot. That's their process. Okay.
So maybe they are very curious about when we're gonna have a mainnet.
Oh, yes, okay. So basically this is how it looks like. Anyway, I'll just go over. So these are the applications, etc. And the endpoints, if you are going to connect to Humidify, these are the endpoints. And number 3 is the mainnet. So we are done with our own relay chain, we are done with Luminary, and we are looking to set up our mainnet this quarter, hopefully. Okay, so we are talking now with different providers, and then Parity is also helping us. So we are not just looking for any providers, we are really looking for providers that has experience with Polkadot. So they will provide us the necessary servers and necessary automation or DevOps automation, because we will transfer the code directly to the servers, and we will also going to be securing the keys. Because at the end of the day, this is all security of the keys. Like whoever holds the Genesis key, who holds the, yes, we have to secure the keys. So they will provide all of those services, of course. And then once we sign up the deal, then we have a mainnet. Hopefully by this quarter, no? Maybe.
그 4쿼터로 나뉘면 지금 쿼터가 Q2죠. Q2 now Q2 right?
Quarter 2, yes.
Yeah,
Yes, quarter 2.
so 쿼터 2면은 언제까지? 6월 달까지.
6월달.
So that's our goal, no? This quarter, of course, transaction fees, etc. So is there native tokens, Yumi UR, tokenomics. Now, with regards to the tokenomics, we are also working with Parity to help us draft a white paper of our tokenomics. The tokenomics will be used to create the stable coins. So once we set up the mainnet, the stablecoin is not yet there, but you can already use it for games, etc. But when we start to create our own stablecoins, we have to make a tokenomics white paper. Okay, and they are also going to help us. So, but initially, we are going to be issuing Yumi and Yuri at 1.1 billion minted at the start, and then from there we can just move on if we can compute for the inflation, etc. Okay, so parachain value. What else? More this is very technical. Okay lang. So okay, so the catch here, why is it that Polkadot is issuing parachain, or why is it that Polkadot wants us to connect to them, is because there's a business over it, no, in the parachain. In order for you to be connected to Polkadot, you need to win an auction, because there are limited slots for a relay chain. So a relay chain, like I think Polkadot has only about 100 parachains. So there are only 100 people that can connect to Polkadot at any given point in time. And when you connect to Polkadot, you have to bond. You have to put a bond. So there's a business behind it. Okay. So any questions? So these are the milestones that we are looking for. We are testing the parachain reliability and fault tolerant. We are done with that. we are going to go live, which is we are working for the mainnet, and we have been working on, we are done with Paymongo. So ramp on and off, meaning you pay like 100 pesos and it will give you 1 UMI token. That's a ramp. You convert your peso to token. And then multiple native asset, MySQL, indexing, telemetry, etc. So these are the milestones that we are looking for 2023.
네.
So I think that's it. These are for the mainnet requirements, game application, etc. Questions?
기술적인 부분을 모르지 그거 질문을.
자, 올리만 하시면 돼요.
네.
Okay.
오케이.
So that's it.
네.
So our 2023 milestone, which is we need to have go live already. We will not be anymore pursuing Uminari. We are just focusing Humidify. We run off, on and off. I think he is talking about exchange. If you are going to set up your own exchange, but Paymongo, we already have a contract with Paymongo, so we can already accept credit cards,
크레딧
etc.
카드 이런 걸다 배웠죠.
Okay. Then these are the goals of multiple native asset, meaning multiple stable coins, and we have put a telemetry of MySQL database, meaning every time you transact, we will record it so that you can easily track your transactions. So if you buy or if you transfer the fee, if you transfer a balance to another person and then the person transfer to you, everything will be recorded and indexing in a database, which later on, if you're familiar with Polygon, so if you're familiar with Polygon, Polygon has a very good telemetry indexing because you can just search your transactions there. So when you type in and Ethereum transactions, everything is there. But because they are doing a very good telemetry, developer documentation and version 2 of the blockchain in the near future. So these are milestones for 2023. Our goal for quarter 2 is the go live. Yes. Yes. Question.
궁금하신 점. 이게 녹화를 하시고 한번 다시 한번 말하실 때 들으시면 되는데 아주 테크니컬적인 부분은 저도 이해 못하는 부분이 있습니다. 그런 부분은 따로 같이 딱
시간이 지나면서 하나씩 해주시면 돼요. 우리 보안 문제는
네?
보안.
security problem.
So security issues that we are looking at is the key, the key that creates all this, the minting, the burning. So the key has to be fully secure. There are a lot of companies in Switzerland that does the key handling for us. The other one is the source code auditing. So somebody has to audit the source code before we deploy. So that is why we are looking for a service provider in Parity who has experience also in Parity. So we will not just put our source code or our runtimes in a service provider that is not accredited by Polkadot. So we are really talking with Parity. So,
블록체인에서 블록체인을 컨트롤할 수 있는 키가 있어요. 블록체인을 만들면 그 키가 매번 변경이 되거든요. 매번 우리가 말하는 OTP처럼요. 그 OTP를 스위스에 그거를 보관하는 기구가 있어요. 저희는 거기에 보관을 시키고 있고요. 투명성 때문에. 그래서 접근할 수 있는 사람은 몇 명밖에 없습니다. 그리고 what was that about the Swiss?
the company that holds the keys in
그리고 그 파리티라는 게 이제 폴카닥을 만든 게임 데브인데 이게 게임 데브가 아니고 그 블록체인 데브인데 블록체인 그 개발자 기구에서 저희 소스 코드를 다 그 오디 시작하면은 저희가 검사를 해가지고 거기에 대한 문제가 없는지 보안 문제가 없는지 확인을 하고 저희가 온라인에 올리는 거예요.
검증을 받는다 소리야.
Okay, that's it.
화장실 가신 거요?